So release the golf club. Such a kind of buzz phrase in golf. So what's my understanding of release the club? Oh. Now I did release it, but that's probably not going to help us hit too many good shots. So releasing the club is not what I've just done there. You may have done that, and I might or might not have done that in the past. But what we're going to talk about is how you're going to get that club face back to the golf ball nice and square, give you a good strike with plenty of power. But there's two key ways you can either be very, very square at impact, or you can have much more rotation of the hands and arms. And it might be a case that you have to practice a little bit of both and see which one works best for you. I'm going to give you just some general rules as to which one should work, but the beauty is once you know both, you can try both and see which is best. So the first one I'm going to talk about is more of the roll release. So if you're somebody who maybe has a slightly weaker grip, so don't see too many knuckles on that left hand and that V on the right hand's more straight up, if you want to get lots of shaft lean like we talk about at impact, that club face is going to point way out to the right and we're going to hit some very, very weak shots. So for somebody with a much weaker grip, a lot of the modern stuff that's spoken about now might not work great for you. So what you'll need to feel is that on the way down, we need to get those hands and forearms rotating more through so that as a checkpoint on the way through, you want the toe pointing to the sky or even maybe a little bit more of the face pointing down to the ground. So lots and lots of rotation. Now this is how I used to play as a kid. Some people would argue I used to play better doing it this way. So we're going to stand up and feel very much kind of toe up to toe up. Get those hands and arms rotating, and we're not doing it with the body. So we're going to stand up there. A little bit thin, but definitely felt lots more of hands involved. So let's go again with that one. Let's see if we can take a divot. Now, as a general rule, somebody who does this might see a slightly higher launch and maybe not hit the ball quite as far. It's not always a negative that if you've got that control on the club face. So again, we're going to feel toe up to toe up and not a lot of body through impact. So again, still a little bit thin, but it's straight. There's decent control, and that was always my bad shot as a kid. And it's probably why it led me to move from that release of lots of rotation, because I felt when I played a lot, I was really good. But a lot of the thing for golfers is they worry about lack of flexibility. If you don't move fantastically well and you're not able to rotate your body, that can be absolutely perfect for you. Now, the much more modern way of maybe releasing the club is with the body. So it might even be for someone with a slightly stronger grip. So the hands more to the side. A stronger grip would just promote a more closed club face. And if we're in this position and we open our body up, we can see how it squares the club face. So for somebody more like that, halfway down, they're going to have that leading edge more at spine angle, as we can see there. And on the way through, they would again have that leading edge at spine angle. So we're feeling with this release that the body and the hips are much more towards the target. Now I would say if you're somebody who's rolled it, to suddenly try this can feel very, very different. Sometimes good different, sometimes bad different. So I'm going to feel now stronger grip on the way down. My knuckles are more down to the ground. I'm going to keep turning my hips and my chest towards the target. We should see a slightly lower launch. I find it much easier to take that little divot on the floor as well, because at impact I'm much more this way. And then as those arms straighten, that low point's further forward. So like I said, there's pros and cons. Now definitely for somebody like me, who used to be very roll release, my worry was always that I was going to hit that one left. But you can see, if I'm in that strong position and my body's looking at the ball, that club face is going to be left. That's where it's imperative that you really keep turning the body out the way. If you worry about flexibility, don't. A lot of guys say, well, I can't turn my hips out the way. Let that trail heel come off the floor, and you can see as that comes up, my body's able to turn out the way much, much further. So, slightly stronger grip. We're really going to work on that club face hardly rotating through the bottom, but lots of body rotation. And for me personally, there's no comparison with the two. I much prefer that second way of releasing the golf club. I think the contact's better. I feel like I've got more control. Past videos might not back that up. But I also think when you're doing that, it makes me really commit to being aggressive with my body movement. If I do feel with the old movement, it's still okay, but it's a much higher shot. Feels like I've got to be better with my timing with my hands. And anyone who watches any of my other videos, you will hear often, my best ones feel like the hands are very passive during the swing because I'm controlling the rotation with my body, not with all the small muscles. So we're going to go 2 more with the square release. We're going to set up, slightly stronger grip, turn the body out of the way. And I'll take that every single time. Definitely just a little too far from the green with this club. But let's go 1 more, see if we can get all the way back there. And if we can, it'll be perfect. So that's as good as I can hit it. That's all over the flag and 10 yards short. So instead of 7 iron, I needed 6 iron. But try both ways of releasing the club. One's much more hands and arms release, one's much more the body. You will definitely find one way easier to do than the other. You won't get it right every time, but if you can keep working on that, it's going to make your ball striking more consistent, you're going to hit the ball straighter, and just enjoy hitting your irons a whole lot more from the floor. So guys, hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, like it and share it, comment below and I'll get back to as many people as I can. There's another video just there that YouTube thinks you're going to enjoy. Hopefully catch up with some of you guys down here soon. Stay in contact.